Today, I want to talk about something that quietly controls so many of our lives, our comfort zones. It's that invisible bubble where life feels safe, predictable, and frankly easy. We stay there because it's familiar. We stay there because it's convenient, but here's the hard truth. Nothing extraordinary ever grows inside a comfort zone. Your comfort zone might feel like safety, but it is also limitation. It whispers, stay here, don't risk it, don't push yourself. And when we listen, our potential shrinks. Our dreams wait patiently, but life doesn't. Opportunities pass by while we sit in familiarity, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Now, stepping out of that zone isn't about recklessness. It's about recognizing fear and resistance for what they really are. Signals, not stop signs. That nervous energy in your stomach, that doubt that creeps in when you think about taking a risk. That's your body telling you, growth is here, pay attention. Fear is not the enemy, it is your compass pointing to the places you must go, and here's the beautiful part, you don't have to leap into the unknown all at once. Growth is built step by step, moment by moment. Small actions, speaking up, trying something new, making the first uncomfortable call. These small acts accumulate. They build confidence, skill, and momentum. Eventually, those steps create a life you never thought you could reach from the safety of your old bubble. But all of this starts with purpose. When you know why you want something, when your action aligns with your vision, you no longer hesitate. Comfort becomes the obstacle, and action becomes the bridge. You leave the comfort zone not because you are reckless, but because you are committed to something greater than yourself. So today, I challenge you. Identify your comfort zone, recognize the fear that keeps you there, take that first small step, and let purpose pull you forward. Go get it! The life you dream of is not in the safety of what you know. It's waiting on the other side of discomfort, and it's waiting for you. The comfort zone is often described as a psychological space where familiarity and routine dominate our daily lives. It is a mental and emotional state where we feel safe, secure, and in control. Within this zone, we are rarely challenged, and our actions are predictable. We engage in behaviors that we know will produce expected results. We interact with people we are comfortable with, and we make decisions that minimize risk. While it provides a sense of stability, the comfort zone also acts as an invisible barrier that limits our personal and professional growth. By staying within it, we inadvertently restrict our potential and limit the experiences we are capable of having. The comfort zone is not inherently negative. It serves a purpose in maintaining safety and reducing stress. However, when it becomes the default mode of operation, it prevents the development of resilience, adaptability, and creativity, which are critical in navigating an increasingly complex world. Inside the comfort zone, individuals often experience a sense of predictability that feels reassuring. The routines we build, whether in work, relationships, or personal habits, create a structure that allows us to function without encountering the uncertainty that might trigger anxiety. Yet, this same predictability can be deceptive. The absence of challenges may lead to stagnation. Without exposure to novel situations, problem-solving skills remain underdeveloped, critical thinking is not fully exercised, and the ability to adapt to change diminishes. While it may feel safe, the comfort zone subtly enforces limitations, conditioning the mind to settle for the familiar rather than striving for improvement or innovation. It fosters a false sense of control where the perception of stability becomes more important than pursuing growth or learning from failure. One of the most significant limitations of the comfort zone is its impact on ambition and achievement. By remaining in familiar territory, people tend to avoid risks and shy away from opportunities that carry the possibility of failure or discomfort. Growth rarely happens without challenge, and challenge often involves stepping into the unknown. The comfort zone discourages experimentation and inhibits the pursuit of goals that require effort beyond what is routine. For instance, someone may have a strong desire to learn a new skill, start a business, or pursue a career change, but the thought of leaving the known environment can generate fear. This fear keeps them anchored in their current position, resulting in missed opportunities and delayed progress. Over time, the accumulation of these small, avoided risks compounds into significant lost potential, creating a gap between what one could achieve and what one actually does achieve. The comfort zone shapes thinking patterns in subtle but powerful ways. It encourages self-limiting beliefs by reinforcing the idea that failure is unacceptable or that risk is inherently dangerous. These beliefs are internalized over time, influencing decision making, reducing confidence, and perpetuating cycles of inactivity. People become comfortable not only in their routines but also in their mindset, leading to intellectual complacency. By contrast, stepping outside of the comfort zone requires facing uncertainty and embracing discomfort, which stimulates cognitive growth and emotional resilience. This expansion of perspective allows individuals to confront complex problems, adapt to unforeseen challenges, and discover capabilities they were previously unaware of. The social dimension of the comfort zone further reinforces its limiting effect. Humans naturally seek approval and belonging, and staying within familiar social circles often aligns with these needs. Avoiding interactions with new people or perspectives can hinder networking, collaboration, and exposure to ideas that might spark innovation. Similarly, adhering strictly to conventional routines or established norms may prevent the development of creativity and experimentation. By remaining within the comfort zone, individuals trade novelty and learning for perceived stability, but the trade off comes at the cost of personal evolution. Real growth is frequently uncomfortable, requiring courage, persistence, and the willingness to encounter temporary setbacks. Ultimately, the comfort zone functions as both a sanctuary and a barrier. It offers psychological safety and predictability, but at the cost of limiting growth, achievement, and self-discovery. Recognizing this duality is essential for anyone striving to maximize their potential. The first step in breaking free from these limitations is awareness, understanding how the comfort zone manifests in daily routines, decisions, and thought patterns. Once identified, individuals can consciously challenge themselves to venture beyond familiar territory, embracing opportunities that foster learning, resilience, and meaningful progress. Growth, fulfillment, and innovation exist outside of comfort, and acknowledging the constraints of the comfort zone is the necessary precursor to transcending them. Fear and resistance are universal experiences that every individual encounters when stepping beyond familiar territory. They are not signs of inadequacy or personal failure, but natural psychological and physiological responses to change, uncertainty, and challenge. Fear manifests in many ways: anxiety, self-doubt, hesitation, or even procrastination, and often appears just as we are about to take an important step toward growth. Resistance, on the other hand, can present as mental excuses, rationalizations, or a persistent inner voice suggesting that staying in the familiar is safer. Both are mechanisms designed to preserve comfort and security, rooted in survival instincts that evolved to protect humans from harm. However, in the context of personal development and goal achievement, these signals are misinterpreted when we treat them as barriers to action. Understanding that fear and resistance are indicators pointing toward areas of opportunity rather than impassable obstacles is critical for anyone striving to achieve meaningful growth. Fear operates at both a conscious and subconscious level. On the conscious level, it often appears as explicit worry or concern about a specific outcome. For example, one might fear failure, rejection, or the unknown consequences of a new endeavor. At the subconscious level, fear can manifest as hesitation, avoidance behaviors, or even physical sensations such as tension, a racing heartbeat, or shallow breathing. These responses are the body's natural alarm system, signaling that something significant is about to occur. Rather than treating this alarm as a reason to retreat, it should be seen as confirmation that the action you are contemplating matters. Activities that evoke fear are frequently the ones that have the greatest potential for learning, growth, and transformation because they push the boundaries of what you already know and can comfortably handle. Recognizing fear as an indicator rather than a deterrent shifts the perspective from avoidance to curiosity and action. Resistance works in tandem with fear, but often disguises itself in rational thinking. It is the internal voice that asks, "Am I ready for this?" Or "What if it doesn't work out?" Resistance can manifest in procrastination, overplanning, or focusing on insignificant details to avoid confronting the real challenge. While it may feel like a reasoned response, it is fundamentally a signal that the task ahead is meaningful and outside your current capabilities. The more significant and impactful the opportunity, the greater the likelihood that fear and resistance will emerge. This is because growth, by definition, requires leaving comfort behind. When resistance appears, it is an opportunity to pause, reflect, and prepare, rather than retreat. Learning to acknowledge resistance without surrendering to it is a critical skill in personal development and professional achievement. Embracing fear and resistance as signals also involves changing the internal narrative. Instead of framing fear as a predictor of failure, it can be reframed as an indication that you are moving in the right direction. Every time fear arises, it highlights an area where growth is possible and necessary. Resistance highlights areas where effort, focus, and perseverance will yield meaningful results. The most successful individuals do not eliminate fear and resistance. They accept and work with them. They use fear as motivation, guiding them to prepare, strategize, and take calculated risks, while using resistance as a marker for where their attention and energy should be applied to maximize impact. Fear and resistance provide essential feedback for refining goals and actions. They often reveal hidden assumptions, outdated beliefs, or gaps in knowledge that must be addressed to succeed. For instance, fear of public speaking may indicate a lack of practice, preparation, or confidence in communicating ideas. Resistance to starting a new project may highlight unexamined doubts about one's ability or a misalignment with personal values. By analyzing these signals, individuals gain insight into areas that require development and can take targeted actions to build competence and resilience. Over time, repeated exposure to fear, inducing or resisting, triggering situations strengthens the ability to act despite discomfort, creating a cycle of continuous learning and growth. It is also important to recognize that fear and resistance are not uniform across all experiences. Different people respond differently to similar challenges, and the intensity of fear often corresponds to the significance of the opportunity. Highly meaningful goals or transformative experiences tend to provoke stronger emotional responses precisely because they have the potential to expand capabilities and impact life in profound ways. Accepting fear as a natural companion in these moments reduces its paralyzing effect and allows it to be used as a compass rather than a blockade. In practice, responding constructively to fear and resistance involves a combination of self-awareness, reflection, and action. Recognizing the signs of fear without judgment, analyzing the sources of resistance, and taking deliberate steps to move forward transforms these experiences from obstacles into tools for growth. Rather than stopping when fear or resistance arises, leaning into these signals creates opportunities to learn, adapt, and ultimately expand one's capacity. Understanding fear and resistance as signals rather than stop signs is essential for anyone seeking to move beyond the familiar and achieve meaningful success, as it reframes discomfort as a necessary and valuable part of the growth process. Growth and progress rarely occur through sudden, dramatic leaps. While stories of overnight success capture attention, The reality is that meaningful achievement is usually the result of consistent, incremental steps taken over time. Small steps build momentum, and momentum is the force that allows individuals to overcome inertia, maintain focus, and gradually expand their capabilities. The process begins with the recognition that action, no matter how minor, is more powerful than inaction. A single, deliberate step toward a goal creates energy, confidence, and clarity, which encourages the next step. This compounding effect is critical because it transforms what initially seems overwhelming into a manageable and sustainable path forward. By breaking down large aspirations into smaller, actionable steps, individuals gain a sense of control and direction, making it easier to confront challenges and maintain motivation. The power of small steps lies not only in their cumulative effect, but also in their ability to reduce the fear and resistance associated with significant change. Large goals often appear intimidating because they demand skills, resources, or courage that seem beyond reach. The mind tends to fixate on the enormity of the task, creating anxiety and self-doubt. By contrast, a small step, such as dedicating 10 minutes a day to a new skill, initiating a single conversation, or testing a prototype idea, feels achievable and realistic. Each successful completion generates a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing self-efficacy and gradually reshaping the perception of what is possible. Momentum begins to build as these micro-actions compound, eventually making the previously daunting goal appear attainable. Small steps also allow for learning and adaptation along the way. Each action, no matter how minor, provides feedback that informs future decisions and strategies. When individuals move in increments, they create opportunities to experiment, observe outcomes, and refine approaches before committing fully. This iterative process reduces the likelihood of failure because adjustments can be made in real time, rather than after a costly mistake. Moreover, it fosters a mindset oriented toward growth and continuous improvement. The discipline of consistent, incremental action teaches patience, resilience, and the ability to stay focused on long-term objectives despite short-term obstacles or setbacks. Another critical aspect of small steps is their role in building confidence. Confidence is not an innate trait, but a skill developed through repeated experience. Each small victory, completing a task, acquiring a new skill, or overcoming a minor challenge, reinforces the belief that effort produces results. Over time, these victories accumulate into a foundation of self-assurance, which makes larger challenges less intimidating. Confidence generated from small actions is also more sustainable than confidence built on abstract ambition or hypothetical scenarios because it is rooted in actual experience and tangible results. Individuals learn not only that they are capable, but also that progress is possible, even when circumstances are difficult or unfamiliar. Consistency is a key factor in leveraging small steps effectively. Momentum is fragile and can easily be disrupted by irregular effort or inconsistent focus. By committing to regular, deliberate action, even at a modest pace, individuals maintain forward movement and reduce the likelihood of losing motivation. Habits play an essential role in this process, as repeated behaviors eventually become automatic, reducing reliance on willpower alone. Small steps, when consistently applied, transform into a system that propels progress without requiring constant mental effort or excessive energy. This system of momentum ensures that even in moments of doubt or fatigue, forward motion continues, ultimately bringing ambitious goals within reach. Small steps also encourage risk taking by reducing the perceived consequences of failure. When the required actions are manageable, the fear of making mistakes diminishes, and individuals are more willing to experiment. Each small step carries a low cost but a high learning potential, creating a feedback loop in which experience fuels growth, and growth fuels confidence. This iterative cycle fosters innovation, problem solving, and creativity because the individual becomes willing to try multiple approaches, learn from setbacks, and refine methods over time. Small steps contribute to a sense of purpose and direction. By setting incremental milestones, individuals create measurable indicators of progress, which provide motivation and clarity. Each step achieved serves as a reminder that goals are attainable and that effort is meaningful. This clarity sustains engagement and ensures that energy is directed toward productive action rather than wasted in hesitation or doubt. Momentum, once established, becomes a self-reinforcing force. The more progress is made, the more capable and motivated an individual feels, accelerating achievement and making it easier to tackle increasingly challenging objectives. Vision and purpose are the forces that transform intention into action. While motivation alone can spark short-term effort, it is vision and purpose that sustain long-term commitment and guide decisions when challenges arise. Vision represents a clear picture of the desired future, an understanding of what one wants to achieve or become. Purpose provides the deeper reason behind the vision. It answers the question of why the goal matters, why it is worth effort, and why leaving the comfort zone is necessary. Without vision, actions can feel aimless and reactive, lacking coherence or direction. Without purpose, even well-defined goals may fail to inspire persistence when obstacles appear. Together, vision and purpose act as a compass, orienting behavior and energy toward meaningful outcomes. They give context to effort, helping individuals recognize which actions are valuable and which are distractions. Vision creates a sense of possibility that stretches the imagination and encourages exploration. When an individual has a compelling vision, they are able to anticipate future scenarios, set goals, and chart a course toward what they want to achieve. Vision allows people to see beyond current limitations, to imagine what could exist outside the boundaries of the comfort zone. It provides clarity by specifying a target, which makes the path forward more tangible and less intimidating. By visualizing a desired outcome, individuals can identify the steps necessary to reach it and develop strategies to overcome potential obstacles. Vision acts as a mental map, guiding decision-making and prioritization, and creating a framework within which incremental progress becomes meaningful and aligned with long-term objectives. Purpose, on the other hand, fuels action by connecting the vision to intrinsic motivation. While vision describes what one wants to achieve, purpose explains why it is important. Purpose taps into values, beliefs, and aspirations, providing emotional energy and resilience. It answers the question, why should I leave the safety of my comfort zone? Why endure temporary discomfort or uncertainty? Purpose transforms challenges into meaningful experiences and setbacks into lessons. When purpose is strong, fear and resistance become secondary. The importance of the goal outweighs the discomfort of the process. Purpose sustains momentum, especially when progress is slow or obstacles appear, because it is rooted in the meaning behind the effort rather than external rewards or validation. Vision and purpose also enhance decision-making and focus. With a clear sense of direction and reason, individuals are better equipped to evaluate opportunities and risks. Decisions become guided by alignment with the ultimate vision and adherence to core purpose rather than by short-term convenience or fear. This clarity reduces wasted energy, ensures consistency in effort, and allows for strategic risk-taking. Individuals with a strong vision and purpose can prioritize actions that directly contribute to meaningful goals, avoiding distractions that do not advance their desired outcomes. The focus created by purpose-driven action increases efficiency and accelerates progress, reinforcing the connection between effort and results. Vision and purpose inspire persistence. Growth and achievement often require sustained effort over long periods, and challenges or failures are inevitable. A compelling vision acts as a constant reminder of what is possible, while purpose provides the reason to persevere despite obstacles. Together, they help individuals reinterpret difficulties as stepping stones rather than barriers. For example, encountering failure may prompt reflection, adjustment, and renewed effort rather than resignation, because the goal is connected to something deeply significant. Purpose transforms struggle into opportunity for learning and growth, creating resilience that is essential for overcoming resistance and discomfort associated with leaving the comfort zone. Vision and purpose also serve as sources of motivation that extend beyond personal ambition. When aligned with values and broader impact, they foster a sense of responsibility, contribution, and legacy. People who operate with purpose often experience fulfillment and satisfaction that transcend external rewards, because their actions are aligned with principles, meaningful goals, and the desire to make a difference. This alignment strengthens commitment to action, encourages ethical decision making, and enhances engagement with the process of growth. Vision and purpose create intrinsic rewards that maintain drive even when external validation is absent. Practical application of vision and purpose involves deliberate reflection and clarity. Individuals must articulate their desired outcomes and connect them to underlying reasons that resonate deeply. Visualization techniques, goal setting exercises, and values clarification are tools that help translate abstract ideas into actionable direction. Once vision and purpose are clearly defined, they provide an anchor for action, especially in moments of doubt, fear, or resistance. They act as a source of inspiration, reminding individuals why leaving the comfort zone is worthwhile, and reinforcing the notion that meaningful achievement requires effort, persistence, and courage. Ultimately, vision and purpose are the drivers of meaningful action. They provide clarity, focus, and motivation, guiding individuals to take consistent steps beyond their comfort zones by connecting goals to a larger why. And maintaining a clear picture of the desired outcome, people can overcome fear, resistance, and uncertainty. Vision and purpose ensure that effort is not wasted and that growth is directed toward outcomes that matter, transforming challenges into opportunities and turning potential into achievement.